Stepping up the porch stoop. Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful spring day, May 5th, I believe. Hey, this is a real quick video just to talk about sharing the wealth of gardening. Share your knowledge, what you do have. Monty Don, the complete gardener, I believe it's what it's called. He's England's most famous gardener, yet he is still learning. But he's not waiting to learn it all to share his knowledge. He shares it with the whole country over there, now with the world through our modern technology. Watched so many of his shows. I have his book now that I'm reading through. I'm currently going through tomatoes. His tomatoes chapter, no surprise. Love the tomato things he's talking about, but he's sharing. And I want to share my knowledge with you guys through this channel. And then locally with our daughters and our son, with my wife, who's also an expert gardener already in many ways. And in particular today with my daughter, I'm going to head across town and I want to show I'm sharing more than just my knowledge. I'm sharing some materials. So I bought some discounted lumber at Home Depot that was too twisted and not quite perfect. Collecting it. Well, I'm taking it over so they can finish their chicken coop, but also show you what I've got in the back of the truck here. So I've got a pallet, and this is going to be to finish off her compost bin. It's going to be the last side. She needs one more pallet. So I've got some bags, and there's the boards right there, of course. I've got some really tall ones, some 12-footers hanging over the front of the truck there. A couple bags of compost and steer manure that I bought at the store. But also I have this, guys, in this bucket right here. You can't see it, but that's full of wood ash. This right here, so that they can add some phosphate and potassium to their soil. Here I have rough compost I haven't screened from our own compost. So I made enough this year to take several buckets over. I've got that one. Of course, there's the bagged compost I already showed you. I've got these two, which are also rough compost. All this is rough compost I'm taking to her. And this is leaf mold, this big bin here. This is about 60, 70 pounds of leaf mold in here. All of this to take to my daughter. So sharing my knowledge. I'm still learning, but I'm not waiting to learn it all. But I'm also sharing some of our resources we've been blessed with here. We have this acreage we were able to buy with this house. And there's so many leaves. I've told you the story many times before about how I used to have to go up to the mountains in Southern California to get leaves because there were so few deciduous trees in our area. I mean, I was thrilled to find this guy with this one lone gigantic pine tree a half a block from me who had never raked underneath this pine tree, and he let me go and clean up for him and take all of that with me. I got like 1,000 pounds of decomposed pine needles and branches and pine cones that I enriched our soil with. All that fungal activity was released into our garden. So other than that, I would have to go up to the mountains. It was like a 25-minute trip one way to get 30, 40 big garbage bags full of leaves. And I'd go up and do that 2 or 3 times a season to supplement our garden. Here, I've got it here. I'm surrounded by it. So I get to take some of this leaf mold over to my daughter's. It's all condensed down. That's been ran through my shredder twice. It's been decomposing in these big bins. It's not really even leaf mold yet. It's more halfway there. But if you were to unshred what's in that bucket right there, that 70 pounds of leaves, pure leaves, would probably equal, 20 to 25 trash bags, big trash bags full of unchopped up leaves. That's how much material I've been able to collect. And that's just a small fraction of what I've actually got over there. So why not share? I'm encouraged by the fact she's already an expert vegetable or flower gardener. She's a official pollinator way station for monarch butterflies. She's breaking into the veggie world, and it's a lot of work to get a garden started. Certainly to find the materials to procure those, to have available. The soil to plant into is a challenge unto itself. So I'm helping out a little bit with that. Of course, the wood for their chicken run, so they can get their chickens outside. They're big enough, it's time to get them out there, and the coop is already built. They're just trying to finish the run, and that in turn will be able to help them close the circle in their more sustainable way of living, they'll be able to use the eggs, of course, but also they'll be able to use the chickens to eat food scraps from the kitchen, grass from the lawn, and in turn they'll dig up their huge run area that my daughter and son-in-law are building into a compost that they Paul Gauchi up in Washington, he uses that stuff directly on his garden, I believe, because it's created such a deep bed of fertilizer for the lawn or for the garden, because you can't put the chicken poo directly on the garden. It will burn it. Anyway, so through those chickens, they're able to close that circle of usage, from us consuming to us, returning our kitchen scraps to our chicken, and the chicken's digging through it and making eggs from that. And the scraps bring in the bugs and the worms, which in turn feed the chickens too. And then the waste from the chickens and their bedding together will make an excellent addition to their soil. So very thrilling. Not only share this video, but share your love and your knowledge, where you're at in your journey with other gardeners. Talk about gardening. Share your experiences. What tomatoes are you growing this year? What potatoes are you growing this year? What kind of peppers are you growing? What kind of cube do you like to can? These are life-giving conversations we get to have with each other. And they not only is gardening healthy for us and for our bodies, obviously, and for our spirits as we're working in it and getting the vitamin D outside and learning about the history of these plants. All that's good for us too, but it's also good for us and the other person, the recipient, to share your gardening love. So anyway, just a little something there. Go share today with somebody about your love of gardening, and give them a hand in practical ways sometimes. Talk to you later. Please like and subscribe, guys. Trying to get to 500 subscribers so I can get the word out through this channel more about the benefits of growing your own veggies. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.